You and I both know this truth. Mornings can either build you or break you. The way you start your day is the foundation for everything that follows. Think about it the moment you wake up. You're either training your mind to rise with strength, energy, purpose, or you're letting yourself slip into stress, distraction, and weakness. Most people roll out of bed, grab their phone, check notifications, and instantly let the world control their emotions. And then they wonder why the day feels chaotic. They're drained before noon, and why life feels heavier than it should. But you're not here to live like most people. You're here because something inside of you knows you're capable of more. You want to feel alive. You want to feel in charge. You want to wake up with energy, focus, and clarity so that when challenges hit, you're unshakable. And the secret to that isn't luck. It's how you choose to start your mornings. This is why what I'm about to share with you is not just another motivational talk. It's a blueprint to take back your mornings, to rewire your mind, to shift your energy, and to set the tone for the life you deserve. Listen carefully, because if you truly commit to this, not just once, but every single day, you won't just change your mornings, you'll change your entire life. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. Do you take command of the day? Do you let the day command you? It sounds simple, but this is the very difference between people who live with purpose and people who live in reaction. Your first hour in the morning is like wet cement. Whatever you put into it is going to harden. That's what your day is going to be built on. If you begin with distraction, if you begin with stress, if you begin with rushing, guess what? That pattern will follow you like a shadow. And no matter how hard you push later in the day, you'll feel like you're already behind. But when you own that first hour, when you deliberately shape it, when you treat it as the launch pad of your life, you create momentum that nothing can stop. Most people underestimate this. They think the morning is just about getting out of bed, grabbing coffee, and heading to work. But the morning is sacred. It's the moment where your mind is the most impressionable, where your energy is the most moldable, where your spirit is the most open. It's when your subconscious is listening the loudest. The question is, what are you feeding it? What are you allowing into that fertile soil? Because what you put in, you're going to get out. Garbage in, garbage out, strength in, strength out. Here's the truth. You don't need 2 hours or some complicated routine. You don't need to be perfect. What you need is intention. You need to master that first hour like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. First hour is your power hour. If you give it away to scrolling, to emails, to negativity, you're literally handing over your energy to forces outside of you. But if you claim it, if you say, this first hour is mine, I will set the standard for my day, then you're already living as the person you were meant to be. Think about it. Every great leader, every high performer, every person who consistently rises above the noise, they don't stumble into the day by accident. They design it. They set rituals. They shape their emotions before the world has a chance to. They decide who they're going to be before anyone else decides for them. That's the difference. So ask yourself right now, how are you starting your mornings? Are you waking up and immediately reacting to the world, checking your phone, scrolling through social media, consuming everyone else's agenda before your feet even touch the floor? If so, no wonder you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or unfocused by the time you hit the middle of the day. You've programmed your mind to be reactive. You've allowed the outside world to hijack your inner world. But imagine a different approach. Imagine opening your eyes in the morning, and before anything else, you breathe deeply, you sit in gratitude, you move your body, you focus on your intention. Imagine beginning your day not in chaos, but in clarity. Instead of letting stress dictate your state, you're the one setting the state. That's power. That's leadership of self. And when you master yourself in that first hour, everything else in the day becomes easier because you've already established the pattern. You've trained your mind to respond instead of react, to lead instead of follow, to rise instead of collapse. Here's the mistake so many people make. Wait until life falls apart to try and get control. They wait until they're burned out, until they're sick, until they've lost opportunities to finally start asking, how do I take my power back? Don't wait until then. You have the chance every single morning. The first hour is the ultimate reset button, the chance to rewrite the script before it begins. Why wouldn't you use it? Let me make this practical for you. You don't need to do 100 things. Start with just a few minutes. As soon as you wake up, take control of your environment. Don't touch the phone. Don't check the news. Don't let the outside world invade yet. Instead, sit up, put your feet on the ground, and take 3 deep breaths. Full, powerful, intentional. Let your body know it's time to come alive. Then move, stretch, do push-ups. Go for a walk, jump around, whatever it takes to shift your state. Your body is the fastest doorway to your mind. Once your energy is activated, direct your focus. Think of 3 things you're grateful for, small or big, doesn't matter. Gratitude shifts your mind into abundance. It says, I already have more than enough, and I can create more. And then set 1 clear intention for your day, not 10, not 20. 1, decide who you're going to be, how you're going to show up, what standard you're going to hold yourself to. That's it. If you do just those simple things in your first hour, your life begins to transform. Some of you might be thinking, that sounds too simple. Can it really make a difference? Let me ask you this. How's the way you're currently doing it working out for you? Because if you're waking up tired, stressed, reactive, waiting for coffee to save you, then something needs to change. Simplicity is power. The first hour isn't about cramming in a checklist. It's about priming your mind, your body, and your spirit to dominate the day. And here's what's beautiful. You don't have to wait weeks to feel the difference. You'll notice it the very first day you commit. You'll feel sharper. You'll feel lighter. You'll walk into your day with certainty instead of hesitation. As days turn into weeks, weeks into months, you'll realize something: you're no longer the same person. You've built consistency, confidence, and momentum. You're no longer waking up in survival mode. You're waking up in creation mode. None of that happens if you don't master the first hour. The first hour is the lever. It's the multiplier. It's the foundation on which the rest of your day and ultimately your life is built. You cannot control everything that happens to you. You can control how you step into it. And if you step into your day with power, nothing can take that away from you. So starting tomorrow, make the decision. No more giving away your mornings. No more letting the world dictate your energy. More starting from a place of weakness. From now on, you start your day with strength, with clarity, with intention. You own your first hour, and in doing so, you own your life. If there's one thing you cannot afford to ignore in the morning, it's your energy. Because without energy, nothing else matters. You can have the best goals in the world. You can write the perfect to-do list. You can have dreams that inspire you. But if you wake up sluggish, drained, and heavy, none of it gets executed. Energy is the fuel of life. It's the force that determines whether you show up with passion, whether you follow through, whether you create momentum. And the good news is this: you don't have to wait for energy to magically appear. You can generate it. You can create it. You can command it. Most people think energy is about luck. They say things like, well, I'm just not a morning person, or I'll feel better once I get my coffee, or some people just have more energy than I do. That's a lie. Energy is not about genetics, and it's not about caffeine. Energy is a decision. It's the way you breathe, the way you move, the way you direct your focus. The fastest way to shift it is to change your physical state. Your body is the gateway. When you change the way you use your body, you change the way you feel. Think about the mornings when you've woken up tired, dragging yourself out of bed, shoulders slumped, head down, moving slowly. What's the emotional state that follows? Lethargy, procrastination, a mind that looks for the easiest path. But contrast that with the times you've jumped out of bed, stretched, maybe played some music, moved your body, went for a jog, or even just walked with intention. What happened? Suddenly you felt alive. Suddenly your mind sharpened. Suddenly you had the power to take on challenges. That's not magic. That's physiology. That's how your nervous system works. Your body sends signals to your brain, and your brain creates meaning out of those signals. If you move like you're tired, you'll feel tired. If you move like you're energized, you'll feel energized. This is why priming your body in the morning is non-negotiable, because the way you use your body will determine the state you carry into the rest of the day. And listen carefully, your state is everything. The way you feel emotionally will determine the quality of your decisions. If you're in a low energy state, you'll think small, you'll hesitate, you'll play it safe. But if you're in a high energy state, you'll take bold action. You'll see possibilities. You'll rise when others shrink. So here's the deal. You need to create a ritual that conditions your energy every single morning. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it must be intentional. Maybe it's a workout. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's a run. Maybe it's blasting your favorite song and dancing in the living room. Maybe it's deep breathing, flooding your body with oxygen. It doesn't matter what you choose, as long as it activates your system. The key is to break the pattern of stillness, to interrupt the inertia of sleep, and to train your body to come alive. Some of you might think, but I don't have time. You don't have time not to. If you don't have 10 minutes to move your body in the morning, you don't have a life. Because without energy, every other area suffers. You'll be slower at work. You'll be less patient with your family. You'll procrastinate on the things that matter. You'll carry the weight of fatigue everywhere you go. But when you decide to generate energy, suddenly everything accelerates. You do more in less time. You handle stress with more resilience. You inspire people around you. And most importantly, you feel alive. Think about this. A race car doesn't win because it drives carefully. It wins because it generates maximum power and channels that power with precision. Your life is the same. You can't crawl into the day and expect to win. You need to rev up your engine. You need to ignite your system. You need to put yourself in a peak state. And the beauty of it is, it's within your control every single morning. You've probably had those days when you woke up feeling off, but then you went to the gym or you pushed yourself to move and suddenly everything shifted. That's because your physiology changed your psychology. It's like flipping a switch. Movement is medicine. Oxygen is fuel. Posture is programming. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, move powerfully, you are telling your brain, this is who I am. I am ready. I am strong. I am unstoppable. And your brain listens. So don't underestimate the simple things. 10 jumping jacks, a quick stretch, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, flooding your lungs with oxygen. Do it with intensity. Do it like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. That physical shift might seem small, but it creates a ripple effect. It tells your nervous system to wake up. It tells your emotions to rise. It tells your mind to focus. And once that momentum is created, it doesn't stop. It carries into your conversations, into your work, into your decisions. You know what's fascinating? The people who are most productive, the ones who seem unstoppable, they don't just have more discipline, they have more energy. They have more energy because they create it. They don't wait until they feel like it. They prime their body, they command their state, they manufacture their own fuel. That's what separates them. And that's what can separate you. Stop believing the lie that you're stuck with the energy you wake up with. That's just your starting point, not your destiny. You can transform it in minutes if you're willing to act. The problem is most people are waiting for motivation to arrive before they move. They say, once I feel motivated, I'll exercise, but it doesn't work that way. Action comes first, motivation follows. You don't wait to feel good to move. You move, then you feel good. That's the secret. That's how you break the cycle. So tomorrow morning, don't let yourself stumble out of bed like a zombie. Don't drag your feet into the day. The moment you wake up, stand tall. Take a deep breath with purpose. Shake off the sluggishness. Prime your energy. Because when you master your energy, you master your emotions. And when you master your emotions, you master your life. Once your body is alive and your energy is flowing, the next thing that matters is what you feed your mind. Because your body might be strong, but if your mind is poisoned by negativity, distraction, or fear, you'll sabotage yourself before the day even begins. The thoughts you allow into your head in the morning shape the entire lens through which you see the world. And here's the truth: your mind is always being programmed. Either you're programming it intentionally, or the world is programming it for you. Most people don't even realize it. They wake up, grab their phone, and within minutes they're scrolling through news headlines filled with fear, outrage, and chaos. They're comparing themselves to other people on social media, feeling like they're already behind. They're letting strangers, algorithms, and advertisers dictate the emotional state of their mind before they've even brushed their teeth. And then they wonder why they feel anxious. They feel like they're not enough, why they can't focus. It's because they've surrendered the most valuable real estate they have, their mind, to garbage. Your morning mind is like fresh soil. It's fertile. It's ready to grow something. Whatever you plant in it first will multiply. If you plant seeds of gratitude, strength, inspiration, and focus, your day will grow in that direction. If you plant seeds of fear, scarcity, distraction, and noise, don't be surprised when your day spirals downward. The soil doesn't care what you plant. It will grow whatever you give it. The responsibility is yours. That's why you must feed your mind intentionally in the morning, because your brain is impressionable in those first waking minutes. Your subconscious is still open. The question is, are you feeding it strength or weakness? Are you feeding it possibility or limitation? Are you feeding it faith or fear? Tell you this, you can't expect to live an extraordinary life if you're filling your mind with ordinary junk. You can't expect to feel powerful if the first thing you read is negativity. You can't expect to focus if your first input is distraction. What goes in must come out. If you let garbage in, you'll produce garbage thoughts, garbage emotions, garbage results. But if you put in empowering words, lifting messages, thoughts that stretch you and remind you of your strength, then you'll walk into your day with clarity and conviction. So what does it look like to feed your mind properly? It can be as simple as taking 10 minutes in the morning to read something inspirational instead of scrolling. It can be listening to an audio that lifts you up while you get ready. It can be writing down your own affirmations, programming your brain with the truth about who you are and who you're becoming. It can be visualizing the life you're building, seeing it so clearly in your mind that you start to feel it in your body. You might think that sounds small. Don't underestimate it. The words you read, the voices you listen to, the images you focus on, they all become the soundtrack of your day. If you start with chaos, your mind plays chaos. If you start with discipline, your mind plays discipline. If you start with inspiration, your mind plays inspiration. That's the power of input. And here's the thing, your brain will believe whatever you tell it often enough. If you keep feeding it thoughts of doubt, it will start to believe you're weak. If you keep feeding it thoughts of fear, it will start to believe the world is dangerous. But if you feed it thoughts of strength, gratitude, courage, and possibility, it will start to believe you are unstoppable. And once your brain believes something, behavior follows. This is why I always say protect your mornings like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Don't casually consume what the world throws at you. Decide what you're going to put into your mind. Choose your input. Choose your fuel. Be as intentional with your thoughts as you are with your food. You wouldn't eat garbage every morning and expect to feel great. So why would you let your mind feast on garbage and expect to live in strength? Don't just stop at consuming. Create, speak life into your mornings. Say out loud the truth you want to believe. Tell yourself, today I am strong. Today I will lead. Today I will rise. Don't whisper it, say it with power. Because your own voice is the most influential voice you'll ever hear. When your brain hears your own words spoken with certainty, it programs them deep into your subconscious. That's how you feed your mind, not just passively, but actively. Remember this? World is loud, it's noisy, it's designed to steal your attention, to fill your head with drama and distraction. If you don't take control of your input, the world will. And if the world controls your input, the world controls your emotions. If you take that power back, if you say, I choose what goes into my mind, I choose what seeds I plant, I choose what I water, then you've already won before the day even starts. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up the phone, before you let anyone else's agenda enter your head, stop and ask yourself, what do I want my mind to be filled with today? Do I want strength? Then I will read strength. Do I want inspiration? Then I will listen to inspiration. Do I want clarity? Then I will sit in silence, breathe deeply, and focus on what matters most. Because what I put in now will determine what comes out later. Feed your mind with power, and you'll live with power. Feed your mind with weakness, and you'll live with weakness. The choice is always yours. There's a force that can shift your entire emotional state in seconds. It's not complicated, and it doesn't cost anything. Yet most people overlook it, dismiss it, or only use it when life pushes them to. That force is gratitude. Gratitude is the anchor of strength, the foundation of joy, the filter that changes how you see everything. Without it, even the best circumstances will feel empty. With it, even the hardest challenges can become meaningful. Most people spend their mornings thinking about what's missing, what's wrong, or what they don't have. They wake up already focused on problems, bills, deadlines, mistakes from yesterday, fears about tomorrow. And when you start from that place, you're already carrying weight before the day even begins. You're programming your nervous system to live in scarcity, to live in lack, to live in a mindset of never enough. And when you live in that state, nothing will ever satisfy you. Faster, work harder, achieve more, but you'll always feel like you're behind. But gratitude flips the script. Gratitude says, I already have more than enough. It says, life has already given me gifts I could never repay. Gratitude pulls you out of scarcity and places you in abundance. And the moment you shift into abundance, your stress loses its grip. Your fear loses its voice. Your anger dissolves. Because you cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. You cannot feel scarcity and gratitude at the same time. You cannot feel anger and gratitude at the same time. Gratitude overrides it all. Here's the beauty. You don't need to wait for something big to happen to feel it. You don't need millions in the bank. You don't need a perfect life. You don't need everything figured out. Gratitude lives in the simple things. The breath in your lungs, the strength in your body, the people who love you, the lessons you've learned, the opportunities still ahead. You can access it instantly if you choose to focus on it. Think about this. If you lost everything you have right now, then tomorrow morning you woke up and it was all given back to you, your home, your health, your relationships, your freedom. You'd feel overwhelming gratitude, wouldn't you? You'd be moved to tears by the very things you take for granted today. That's the insanity of life. We wait until we lose things to feel the power of gratitude. Why not feel it now? Why not wake up every morning as if life just handed you another chance? Because that's exactly what it did. Every single day you open your eyes is a gift you didn't earn, but one you've been entrusted with. When you make gratitude part of your morning, it changes the trajectory of your day. Suddenly, problems don't seem as big. Obstacles don't feel as heavy, because instead of approaching the day from a place of emptiness, you're approaching it from fullness. You're no longer asking, what do I need to get to feel good? You're saying, I already feel good. So let me give, let me contribute, let me create. That's power. That's freedom. The practice itself doesn't have to be complicated. When you wake up, before you get caught up in the noise of the world, stop and focus on 3 things you're truly grateful for. And don't just think them, feel them. Let the gratitude sink into your body. Breathe into it. Relive the moment if it's a memory. Visualize the person if it's someone you love. Feel the emotion so deeply that your entire state shifts. If you do that, you won't just think gratitude, you'll embody it. And when your body embodies gratitude, it rewires your nervous system. It changes your chemistry. It changes your focus. It changes your life. Some of you may think, that sounds nice, but I've got real problems. I can't just ignore them. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It means you're choosing to see the whole picture. Yes, you may have struggles, but you also have blessings. Yes, you may have challenges, but you also have opportunities. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you the strength to carry it. It reminds you that even in the darkest moments, there's still light, and that shift in perspective is often the very thing that allows you to overcome what once felt impossible. When you live without gratitude, you live in entitlement. You start to believe you deserve everything, and when life doesn't hand it to you, you get bitter. But when you live with gratitude, you live in humility. You see every moment as a gift, every challenge as a lesson, every blessing as a miracle. From that place, joy flows naturally. Let me tell you this, you can train gratitude like a muscle. At first, it might feel small. You might only find 1 or 2 things to focus on. But the more you practice, the stronger it gets. Soon you'll start to notice things you've overlooked for years. The sound of laughter, the warmth of sunlight, the kindness of a stranger, the opportunity to grow. And once you start noticing them, you can't stop. Gratitude will color your entire life. When you live in gratitude consistently, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you. People feel it. They sense it. They're drawn to it. Gratitude radiates. It makes you magnetic. It makes you a source of energy instead of a drain. It makes you the kind of person others want to be around because you lift them up simply by being you. So tomorrow morning, don't just rush into the day with a head full of worries. Stop, breathe, and ask yourself, am I grateful for right now? Let that answer expand inside of you until it overflows. Let it shift your perspective until the noise fades and the clarity rises. Let it remind you that you already have more than enough to feel joy, than enough to create impact, more than enough to live fully. Because the truth is you do. Gratitude is not a luxury. Gratitude is a necessity. Without it, life feels heavy. With it, life feels light. Without it, you'll always chase. With it, you'll always appreciate. And the moment you choose gratitude, you've already won. Now that your mornings are fueled with energy and grounded in gratitude, there's another step that separates a powerful day from a wasted one. That is clarity of intention. Too many people drift into their day without deciding who they're going to be or what they're going to create. They wake up, they get moving, and then they simply react to whatever shows up. Emails, calls, messages, interruptions. The world's agenda pulls them in 10 different directions. And because they didn't set their own intention, they spend the entire day serving someone else's. If you don't give your day direction, your day will take you anywhere. Usually that's nowhere meaningful. That's why setting an intention in the morning is so critical. An intention is not just a goal. A goal is something you want to achieve someday. An intention is about how you're going to show up right now. It's a standard, a decision, a declaration of how you're going to use your energy, your focus, and your presence. When you set an intention, you anchor yourself. You give your mind a target. Instead of wandering, it directs. Instead of scattering, it aligns, and alignment is power, because when your actions are aligned with your intention, you don't waste time second guessing. You don't get lost in distractions. You don't feel pulled apart. You move with certainty. Think about how you've lived the days where you had no clarity. You probably jumped from one thing to the next, busy but not productive, moving but not progressing. At the end of the day, you felt exhausted. You couldn't even explain what you accomplished. Now think about the days when you woke up with clear focus, when you said, today, I'm going to bring energy. Today, I'm going to be patient. Today, I'm going to finish this one task no matter what. Those days felt different, didn't they? You weren't perfect, but you were purposeful. You weren't reacting, you were creating. That's the difference an intention makes. Here's the best part. It doesn't take hours. It takes a few seconds. In the morning, after you've primed your energy and grounded yourself in gratitude, ask yourself one simple question. What is my intention for today? Not 10 intentions, a laundry list. Just one guiding standard that will shape everything else. It might be, today I will lead with patience. It might be, today I will give my best energy to the people I care about. It might be, today I will focus on finishing this project no matter what distractions come. The power is in the simplicity. When you pick that intention, your mind starts filtering your actions through it. If your intention is patience, you're about to snap at someone, your mind reminds you, wait, that's not who I said I'd be today. If your intention is focus and you're tempted to scroll aimlessly, your mind nudges you back. If your intention is energy, you feel yourself shrinking, you'll catch it and rise. It doesn't mean you'll be perfect, but it means you'll have a compass. And when you have a compass, even if you get lost for a moment, you can quickly find your way back. Some people resist this because they think it's too simple. They think they need massive plans, detailed blueprints, or endless lists. But the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack goals. They fail because they lack clarity for today. They're trying to climb a mountain, but can't even decide which step to take right now. When you set an intention, you bring your vision down to earth. You take the future you want and pull it into the present moment. That's where life is lived, in the present. There's also something powerful about how intention shapes emotion. When you drift through the day without direction, you're more likely to feel stressed, scattered, or overwhelmed because you're at the mercy of everything happening around you. But when you carry a strong intention, even if the world throws chaos at you, you have a foundation. You can say, no matter what happens, this is how I will show up. That's unshakable. That's leadership of self. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people wake up to the same challenges. Both of them have traffic to deal with, deadlines to meet, and people demanding their time. The first person has no intention. They wake up, rush into the day, and immediately get pulled into stress. By mid-morning, they're frustrated. By afternoon, they're exhausted. By evening, they're burned out. The second person wakes up and sets the intention. Today, I will stay calm under pressure. Traffic still happens. Deadlines still happen. But every time stress rises, they remind themselves of their intention. They breathe, they reset, they stay calm. At the end of the day, they may still be tired. They feel in control. The circumstances were the same. The difference was intention. That's the power you have every single morning to decide who you're going to be before the world decides for you. And once you make that decision, life stops feeling random. You stop being a passenger and you start being the driver. Now, don't confuse intention with perfection. You won't nail it every time. You'll still get distracted. You'll still slip. You'll still face challenges. Intention is what brings you back. It's the reminder of who you are and how you want to live. Without it, you drift endlessly. With it, you course correct instantly. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up and hope your day goes well. Decide, declare, choose your intention with power and clarity. Plan it in your mind and carry it into everything you do. Because when you live with intention, you stop wasting your days. And when you stop wasting your days, you stop wasting your life. As we bring all of this together, your energy, your gratitude, your focus, your movement, and your intention, there's one final piece that turns an ordinary morning into an extraordinary launch pad for your life. That's visualization. Because the truth is, the way you see your day before it begins shapes the way you live it. Most people let their minds replay the same old movie problems, worries, doubts, worst case scenarios into the day rehearsing stress. And if you rehearse stress, you're going to perform stress. But what if instead you rehearsed possibility? What if before you ever stepped into your day, you created it in your mind with clarity, strength, power? That's what visualization does. It's not just wishful thinking. It's not pretending, it's conditioning. It's training your brain and your nervous system to expect success, to feel confidence, to step into the world already aligned with the results you want to create. When you visualize, you're building a mental blueprint. And the brain doesn't fully distinguish between something vividly imagined and something experienced. That means when you see yourself walking into the meeting calm, confident, and prepared, your brain begins wiring those pathways as if you've already done it. When you see yourself making that phone call with courage, your body prepares to follow through. You imagine yourself finishing the workout strong, your energy rises to meet that vision. You're rehearsing success before it even happens. Think about athletes. The greatest athletes in the world don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. A sprinter doesn't just run, they close their eyes and see the perfect race before they step onto the track. A boxer doesn't just fight, they visualize every move, every punch, every counter long before the bell rings. Why? Because they know that if they've already lived it in their mind, their body will follow more naturally. Life is the same way. You don't have to be an athlete to use the same principle. Every day is your performance. Every morning is your chance to rehearse victory before you step into the arena. Here's how you make it real. After you've set your intention, take just a few moments, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and picture your day unfolding exactly the way you want it to. Don't just see it, feel it. If you have a challenge ahead, imagine yourself handling it with strength and composure. If you have conversations to hold, imagine yourself speaking with clarity and confidence. If you're building something, your business, your health, your relationships, see yourself making progress, taking steps, staying committed. Bring emotion into it. Vividly you feel it, the more powerfully your brain and body respond. What you're doing is not fantasy, it's preparation. It's conditioning your nervous system for excellence. And that makes all the difference. Because here's the reality is going to test you. Challenges are going to show up. Stressors will be there. If you don't prepare your mind, you'll fall into old patterns. But if you've already seen yourself rise above, already felt yourself succeed, when those challenges come, your mind and body know exactly what to do. I've seen people transform their mornings by simply adopting this one practice. They used to wake up anxious, already feeling behind, already picturing everything that could go wrong. And not surprisingly, their days followed that script. Once they began visualizing success, everything shifted. They carried themselves differently. They spoke differently. They responded to problems differently. And it wasn't because the world changed. It was because they changed the movie they were playing in their minds. Now, don't overcomplicate this. You don't need to spend an hour building a perfect mental picture. Just 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes of intentional visualization is enough. The key is clarity and emotion. See it as if it's happening now. Feel it as if it's real, and then carry that state into the day. Imagine how different your life would look if you rehearsed every single morning as if you were stepping into the role of your highest self. Not just once in a while, but every day. Over time, it compounds. You don't just think about success, you begin to embody it. You don't just hope for change, you condition yourself to create it. And here's something most people don't realize. When you practice visualization, you're also priming your brain to notice opportunities. Your mind works like a filter. It notices what you tell it to notice. If you wake up rehearsing stress, your mind will notice everything stressful. If you wake up rehearsing success, your mind will notice doors that were always there but invisible to you before. That's not magic. That's psychology. You train your mind where to look, and life starts reflecting what you've trained it to see. So tomorrow morning, just stumble into the day and hope for the best. Don't just let the same old fears and doubts write your script. Write it yourself. Close your eyes, breathe, and see the day you want to create. See yourself showing up as the strongest, clearest, most alive version of you. Feel it until it becomes real inside you, and then open your eyes and step into the world ready, because you've already lived it once in your mind. When you live like that, when you prime your energy, root yourself in gratitude, feel your body, set your intention, and visualize your success. You don't just start your day right, you start your life right. And when you start your life right, there is no limit to who you can become or what you can create.